start. Join Banata, we can again repeat whatever is being told in a short way. Okay. Yeah. The first thing, first of all, good morning and good evening there. And the first thing is yesterday we have seen a lot of things which we had described, and I'm sure every one of you has already started practicing also to a certain extent. Maybe it's only very early now, it's 2 days only, but still the beginning has happened. And I could make out very clearly yesterday when we were doing the mudras, I could make out very clearly that everyone has imbibed it properly, and that is why the mudras were very sure for each and every one of you. That was one thing which was very happy, because that is a beginning for you to really get into the practices to really get the benefits. Of course, it takes a long time to keep on practicing when you keep on increasing. It's like a day-to-day, as it is something like we have a mundane thing of daily eating, daily having food, which makes us more nutritious, which makes us more healthy. The same way you keep practicing it daily, it has to be a thorough practice, then you get the benefits slowly imbibed inside you, right? Now today we begin with the mudras. The mudras in the sense, not the mudras which were used to harness and the chakras which we had mentioned and which we used for the warm-up yesterday and day before. Now here it is the so-called, rather than mudras, I should say the points in your palm of your hand, which has all the chakras energies. You would have all heard about reflexology, right? Many of you would have heard about reflexology, which they do for your legs when you go to a beauty parlor, when you go to maybe a Thai massage or whatever they call it. Reflexology to the legs. People who have leg problems, they get reflexology, the points in the sole of your feet, which is pressed in certain places for you to release the pain. Because why that happens? The palm, what is the secret? Just like the hand palm has all the nerve plexus points, the chakras, the Parakosha chakra points are there in the palm of your hand. The same way, the sole of your feet has all the Sukshma chakra points. That is the organs, endocrine glands, and the organs, including the organs of liver and everything. That is why when they press and do the reflexology to your feet, you are released of the pain. Similarly, that means vice versa, we should be relieved of the nerve-related pains in the nerve plexus of all these chakras, and the unleashing of the energies from these chakras by using these points too, right? I think that is a normal way of analysis which anyone can do, right? If you have the leg as the Sukshma chakra, the sole of your feet as the Sukshma chakra, where you are able to release the pain of your body organs, then the same way, if the Parakosha chakras points are there in your palm of the hand, then when you press in that certain points exactly, that means you should be able to unleash the energy of that particular chakra, right? So that is what we are going to learn today first in the beginning. So this, I hope everyone can see in the screen. This is the palm of the hand in both hands, whichever hand you take it, right? Here, the center portion is actually the Anahatabja chakra, the heart chakra, the central portion. Kindly note it down. The central portion is the Anahatabja. I think we go by the order, right? Instead of starting with Anahatabja, I think we go with the order from the Sahasrara to the down, right? I think that will be the right order so that you can follow it properly. So I come to the Sahasrara, this portion of your palm, the Sahasrara, the thumb's tip. You can see the tip, the thumb's tip. This is the Sahasrara chakra point in your palm of the hand. So when you start pressing it, you unleash the energies of your Sahasrara. When you start pressing it, you unleash the energies of the Sahasrara. I hope everyone is able to get this right. Just try pressing it for a second or two so that you will be able to feel something different. Just try as a beginning. I hope everyone is noting down in their notebooks these points, because we have not made a slide of these points in the picture, in the slide.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Just this tip of the thumb, just press it with the other hand fingers. That unleashes, what happens, that actually unleashes the energies of the Sahasrara, where you are not only the Sahasrara, the back brain and the front brain, you feel a flow of energy. When you practice it every day, you will see that you feel a flow of energy, wherein it is also an indication where you will come out of the problems of spondylitis, which is neck pain, cervical spondylitis, and all those things which are related to that medically. In the point. Got it, right?
But it doesn't matter whether left thumb or right thumb, right, Shivkumar sir? Like
either the thumb, either of the thumbs, whichever is convenient to you, because it's both the palms have the points. Because nerves are always in pairs. So both the points, it's a plexus, it's a pair. Now coming to, if everyone has noted this, we are coming to the next chakra. From Sahasrara, the next chakra, which is the next chakra, which is the Agnya chakra, right? The Agnya chakra. Which is the Agnya chakra point? The Agnya chakra point is this finger, you can see, after the thumb, and the point here, the tip of that is the Agnya chakra point. When you press this point, your Agnya chakra energy is unleashed, where you tend to get relieved of your migraine headaches and sinusitis problems. Your sinuses are opened up so that even if cough and you have some blocked cold and phlegm, it comes out, so that at least you get released. This is something which keeps your sinus and the migraine headaches away from you to a large extent. This practice can be done. Has everyone noted down? Then we go to the next one, which is the yes.
So you don't have to be sitting, or is there anything like that? You have to sit down and do this, or stand up?
No. You can do it even when you are in the kitchen, you are doing work. You can do it when some cooking is going on. You can do it because it's your fingers. You can do it. Only thing is, do it exactly where you have the pain in your body. This is again, I'm relating to the pain of your body, wherever, which part, which chakra and the organ where the pain in the body is there. Likewise, where I mentioned Sahasrara is to do with your spondylitis and all those things. So when you have neck pain and all, press that. When you have the sinus or migraine headaches, then you start pressing this. So that is how you have to relate it. That's why I wanted you to note down exactly, so that it will be very easy for you. Right?
Namaste, Sivakumar Garu. How many times do I need to press it?
Minimum, see, every chakra, the minimum pressing of the point is 5 times.
5 times. Okay. Thank you.
Minimum. It depends on how you go beyond that, but minimum is enough. That will itself start unleashing the energy.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Now we come to the next chakra, which is the strongest, as we have said, the Vishuddhi chakra. The Vishuddhi chakra, and the point for it, the point for that is this finger. You're able to see not the third one, the fourth one.
Oh, ring finger.
Vishuddhi chakra. This
the ring finger, no? So Vishuddhi is ring finger.
Ring finger. Naduvil irukra finger illa, ring finger. Adoda tip. Adu press panartha, what happens when you press that? That unleashes the energies of your Vishuddhi chakra, meaning your throat, your larynx, your vocal cord, your thyroid, parathyroid, everything is corrected. So the problems of your throat, sore throat, all this, infections related to that and all release. The blockage is released. You feel relieved of your throat pains. This is the Vishuddhi chakra. Now coming to the next chakra, Vishuddhi kapram Anahatabja, that is the heart. Heart chakra. There it is not the finger, the center portion, as I had mentioned, the center portion. The center portion is the heart chakra. When you press there, all this you know, the pericardial side where you have infusion. Some people sometimes, every one of us get it. Neer korth karde, we say. Sometimes chest la neer korth karde. Phlegm irundalum neer korth karde. When phlegm is there, also we feel as if emo neel akkada taginalaga telustundi adi. That and all goes corrected when you do this pressing. You feel relieved of your heartburn. You feel relieved of your acid reflux also, because many of us have the acid reflux when the heartburn happens, right? All those things you get relieved when you press there to a large extent, and the Anahata just starts activating. The energies get unleashed. Now coming to the next chakra. What is the next chakra? The next chakra is the Manipura, right? Manipura, the stomach chakra. The stomach chakra, this is the part which is important. The thumb below, you see this elevated space for everyone. There you can use 2-3 fingers to press it because it's a long space, you know, like this. Here when you press, many of you would have already experienced this generally without knowing this point. Here if you press, you would have observed always, even if you press now, you can observe for some moment if you press it, you will, I don't know, burping. That's what they call in English, I think. That comes out, you know, all the gas comes out when you press here, because that is the stomach, Manipura chakra, which is very important for everyone, the stomach being comfortable. So press here, you will get release of all your unwanted air in you. You will feel more comfortable, you will feel free. Your stomach, what is the basic principle of that? Because your stomach enzymatic actions medically get activated. Stomach enzymatic actions, when it gets activated, all your digestion problems is corrected. This is what is to do with Manipura chakra, the solar plexus chakra. So when you press here, you unleash the energies of the Manipura chakra. Now we come to the next chakra. What is the next chakra? The next chakra is sacral chakra, right? The Swadhisthana. The Swadhisthana, the creative flow energy chakra. And what is the point for it? The point for Swadhisthana chakra is this point, the last finger and the tip of it. The last finger and the tip of it. Here, I have to tell you something extra, just as an extra point. Below that tip, the finger's tip, you see this elevated space in that the finger below that finger. That is the space which is the organ related to that is the kidney in our body. When you slightly press there, there is a lot of kidney filtration which improves. Don't press very strongly in that point. Just slightly every day, every one of us can try, because kidney functioning is very important for all of us. So, and filtration is very important, because due to our lot of junk food or fast food or whatever it is, less water intake, many times we tend to have stones, maybe many times we tend to have toxins. Filtration is a little, it need not be that it's a kidney failure, but then we have a lot of little problems to do with the kidney filtration, right, every day. So that can be corrected by side pressing the below the finger, this elevated space here. That is the point of the Swadhisthana chakra, that is the upper tip of that finger, Swadhisthana chakra. Then comes the next and the main chakra, that is the Mooladhara chakra. Mooladhara chakra, the main point is this third finger. Why Mooladhara chakra is associated with this finger? Why we didn't mention in an order? That is what may be the question for everyone. And I guess why? Because here this finger is the finger, if you medically see, has a nerve which goes straight to the toe of your foot. Which goes straight to the toe of your foot. That means it is the, and this is according to even astrological sciences, which is a different science. They say Shani odu finger, Shani. Shani is Ayush Karaka. Ayush Karaka, giving life or death, Shani. And Ayush is related to nerves and brain death and everything, you know what it means. And that is why below this finger, this portion is for your brain, central brain. When you press here, your intellect improves. There you can press a little harder also, no problem. Not like what you press on the kidney point.
Mama, tip of the finger எதுக்கு சொன்னேன்?
In the tip of the finger
Tip of
வந்து
the middle.
உங்களுக்கு மூலாதார சக்ரா, harnessing the energies of the மூலாதார சக்ரா, that is your, அந்த மூலாதார சக்ரா எங்க இருக்கு? உங்களோட L5ங்கிற ஸ்பைன் உள்ள இருக்கு, டெயில் போனுக்கு மேல, ஜஸ்ட் மேல. பட்டக்ஸ்க்கும் டெயில் போன் வந்து பட்டக்ஸோட ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ரீச்சிங் பாயிண்ட்ல தானே எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்கு. அது கிடையில இருக்கிற ஸ்பேஸ்ல இருக்கிற அந்த லம்பார் ஸ்பைன், லாஸ்ட் ஸ்பைனோட உள்ளுக்குள்ளதான் இந்த நர்வ் பிளக்ஸஸ் இருக்கு. இந்த நர்வ் பிளக்ஸஸ், for this nerve plexus, the nerve from where it starts, the point is from this fingertip in the body. That's why this finger is very important. And this goes till the toe of your feet, and that is where you have sciatica pains. When you have sciatica pains and all, from your this finger, kai lane, the shoulder lane, it goes till your toe of the feet when it increases in your pain. This is what happens, radiating pain, because it's a single nerve connecting all through the body. Okay, that's why we always in astrological terms also say, Ayo, that is Shani's this thing, because Shani is supposed to be the biggest planet, even the astronomical axis. Even astronomy says Saturn is very big in size, right? Anyway, that's a different science. These are the chakras and these are the points to be used to harness the energies. Now, here there is an interesting fact. When we harness these energies by pressing the points, now, is anybody able to guess what I was coming to say now? I'll give you a clue before you guess. Yesterday and day before yesterday, we were talking about and we were teaching and talking and we were learning about the mudras, the mantras, and warming up. And here the points were told. Can you guess why this is said now? Any one of you? Any slight guess? Is it past? Then I'll say.
Is it related to Brahmananda Chakra?
Brahmananda Chakra, yes, it is related. But then there is one more point. You are almost coming to that answer, but there is one more point to this. There is a relation between the mudra, mantra, and warming up with these points.
Did we use certain fingers for certain mudras? I'm trying to connect.
இது என்ன தெரியுமா? The mudras வந்து, the mudras are given as a methodology which is a discipline when you are sitting in one place and doing it. These points are given when you are standing or doing any work and you are able to do when you have free time. You can chant the same mantra in your mind and press the points. You get the same effect.
Oh,
That's the reason it was told. Okay, so it becomes a simpler way of practicing rather than sitting in one place. It becomes more simpler for people who are in a fast pace of life, people who are working, people who have to run to the work in the morning, cook and do all the work and go. So they get few minutes only. They cannot go and sit in one place when the children are around, the husband is around. You have to take care of their work. So you can, when you are doing the cooking itself, you can do that. That's why this method is given in a scientific way. The other thing is a spiritual way. This is a scientific thing. The two ways which are given, but the base is same, right?
And Mama, I think I missed a couple of minutes in the beginning. I'm not sure if you.
No problem.
We are supposed to do it on the left hand only, right?
No. Any one of the hands. Any one of
Either
your
of the hands. Okay.
Yes, whichever is comfortable for each one.
Oh.
Any one of the palms, because both palms have the points.
All right.
Because always the nerve plexus is a pair of nerves in the body. The chakras are all a pair of nerves. It's not single nerve.
All right. Sure.
Okay. And then now, yesterday we missed out one point, and I noticed that, and I wanted to complete that also. When we were mentioning about the fruits for each chakra to enhance the chakra, there was one thing we missed out, that is the Brahmarandra chakra, where we didn't mention the fruit, right? And that is the apple. That is the apple. That is why in olden days they used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. But an apple seed sends us to Vaikuntham. That also is there. An apple seed If you eat all the apple seeds, you will go to Vaikuntham because it's full of cyanide. Anyway, that's a different thing. So that means, as a joke, I can say you get Kapala
attain Vaikuntham.
So as a joke, I can say when you want to get Kapala Moksham, just eat lot of apple seeds, you can reach Kapala Moksham. Anyway, all jokes apart, apple is the fruit for your Brahmarandhara chakra. So we complete that chakra thing there. Now, when we have mentioned, yes, tell me,
I just have a question,
yes,
Shiv Kumar Garu. So when we are pressing like this, right? Even this finger and this finger is getting pressed, right? So
yes.
So it's like dual thing. Because what's happening is when we press here, even this gets pressed and this gets pressed, right? Against, so.
Yes, but when you press that, the pressing effect, if you have noticed, if you very closely observe, the pressing when you do, from which fingers you are doing the pressing to whichever finger you are doing it to, whichever finger you are doing it to, the impact of that is more stronger because the press you are giving is more stronger to that point. Here the press is because paiki nunchi kinda istunnaru. See, when you are pressing, which finger you are using to press, that is above. You're from paiki nunchi, you are giving below pressing. That is the reason. That's why even in a massage, if you see, that's why paiki nunchi kinda, they do from the up to the down. You know, that is how it is done to remove all the pain and things.
Okay. I mean, like I was just like, you'll be getting the.
It's a very valid question.
Benefit of this press also when we do that.
Yes, that benefit definitely is there, but minimal benefit because that is not pressed in a bigger way. The press where it is given is having the impact because మీరు press చేసి చూడండి, you will give more pressure there only. The pressure point falls there.
I was thinking the same shortcut, but doesn't work like that.
What?
I was thinking the same 2-in-1 benefit கிடைக்குமான்னு பார்த்தேன், இல்ல போல இருக்கு.
இல்ல சந்தியா இப்படி பண்ணிட்டா மொத்தம்
there is one important point. You brought out a very important point here when Radhika ji did like this. இது என்ன தெரியுமா, நமஸ்காரம் and saints எல்லாம் பார்த்திருக்கேன் பெரியவாள்லாம், they do like this blessing. அது ஏன் blessing இப்படி? Now I am coming to the next subject. I think before that, which is the main subject today, before that we have to do a slide. The first slide when we mentioned all these fruits, mudras and everything and unleashing of energy. Now we have to know what is the balance and imbalance of chakras and where it affects scientifically. So just go through this slide, every one of you. I read out the first, the Mooladhara chakra, as I had mentioned, the strong decision making of a person, which sits, as I had mentioned, in the L5 of the spine below, just above your tailbone, and it has the decisions made. And if that is not in a right shape, you have all the physical imbalances which result to problems, pains in your, the lower portion of your body, the legs, the feet, the tailbone, the reproductive prostrate glands, everything which are involved in that portion of your body medically, right? And these imbalances will lead you to all this rheumatoid arthritis, which many people have, the sciatica pains, the nerve pains, and all these things, constipation and all. Because why? Because it is near to your rectum, the tailbone. And that is why all this physical imbalances happen. And emotional imbalances, when your stomach is not right, when you have leg pain, when you have all this pains in your body, you really have a fear of your survival. Then you think, how I will run my life, how I will have work, how I will be able to do work when I'm physically not well. And this is what happens when your root chakra is affected. And root chakra is very important, which we had mentioned, the red colors, which are strong decision makers for us. Now we come to the, and here I would also mention that this letter which is mentioned above, the akshara, that is the letter lam. These are the aksharas for each chakra. Aksharas, these are the aksharas. These are not the bija mantras. Bija mantras we have already given. These aksharas are to be just noted. There is no need of any chanting of this and all, because bija mantras are already given from the granthas. These are the general aksharas mentioned for each chakra in any latest text, which just to be noted down only, not to be chanted or anything. Now coming to the next chakra, we have the sacral chakra, that is the Swadhisthana chakra. As we had mentioned, the position of it located below your navel. And here the physical imbalances naturally, because it's creation and progeny related chakra, the sexual organs, and problems to the sexual organs like which many have, like you have the polycystic ovaries, uterine fibrosis, then you have countless motility less for men, azoosperma for men, then urinary stones, urinary problems, kidney dysfunctions, all these things, pelvic area related things, pains. These are all the physical imbalances when this chakra is hampered. And what are the emotional, imbalances due to this? Emotional imbalances, I think everyone can guess, because many men suffer with all these emotional imbalances because of the sacral chakra getting hampered. Motility is less, they have their own less self-confidence, they feel they are not men, lot of things, lot of emotional. I'm just giving you a basis of that, which is mentioned in a big way in this slide, which gives you in detail, in depth, and you can just extrapolate accordingly, right? Now we go to the next chakra. This chakra slides will be given to you so that you can go through and you can extrapolate further, because you know the practical repercussions of each these chakras by knowing the basic sense which I had already told you. Now coming to the third chakra, the solar plexus, that is the stomach. When the stomach is not in the right portion, what happens? Everyone can guess. All the organs in the stomach, you have all the major organs, whether it is the liver, whether it's the pancreas, whether it's the duodenum, whether it is the esophagus, whether it is the gallbladder, all these things, colon, small intestine, large intestine, which is known as the colon, all these things are involved in your so-called small stomach, which God has created. And in all this get disrupted when your chakra gets hampered. And when all this gets disrupted, basically all the digestive problems start, all the liver functioning gets dysfunction, and when you end up with fatty liver and liver cirrhosis and all different things which you can extrapolate medically. Then you have chronic fatigue. Yes, of course, the body gets fatigued when your stomach is not in the right way. You have mouth ulcers, you have stomach ulcers, everything coming due to the stomach disruption. You have pancreas related problems, pancreatitis, diabetes, all these problems. You have gallbladder stones, you have colon cancers, you have colon problems, all these things medically. Anyway, I'm not going into the detailed medical thing. Now coming to the emotional disbalances. Because of this, what happens? You're not even able to have or face anybody, because you feel very uncomfortable, because in yourself you will feel very uncomfortable. Your esteem goes very low about yourself, because your confidence goes, because you're not comfortable in your body. Body is important. That is why in olden days there is a very important thing which we missed in the first day to say. The first sloka for all this aura sciences is Sharira Madhyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. Sharira Madhyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. For doing dharma, for doing spiritualism, you require shariram. You cannot be a soul alone and travel like a spirit and a ghost. You have to have a body as a vehicle to run it. That is why here the Sukshma, that is why here the secret comes. Why you have Sukshma chakra and Parakosha chakra, which Preeti ji asked me the first day. I don't see the Sukshma chakra. Why? She said there is a logic point, because it is embedded inside your body, the soul and the body, and the Parakosha chakra you are able to see when you see your back, right? That is why it is both together only function. The soul functions only when the body is there. You cannot function independently, then you have to be a ghost. A ghost cannot function independently unless it requires a medium called a body, the kosha. Kosha is a body, kaya is a body. Different meanings of the same word, synonyms in Sanskrit. So, shariram adhyam kalu dharma sadhanam. Keep your body fit. So, what does the aura sciences in totality do? It keeps your body fit, very fit, which increases the energy to your soul, and the soul energy also increases. And that is how you come out with the ring, band, and halo, which we described yesterday. Now coming to the fourth chakra. The fourth chakra, the heart chakra, the Anahatabja, located in the heart. And I had mentioned about the thymus gland, also the Sukshma chakra for that inside. And what happens when this chakra is affected? You definitely can realize that when this is affected, because the thymus gland is in between the both lungs, lung problems come. Since it's a heart chakra, you end up with a lot of heart problems, clotting, you have clots, you have blocks, you have valve dysfunctions. Then for ladies, you have all this breast related problems, mammograms which you take. Then you have lymphatic system problems. Why lymphatic system problems? Because you have the thymus gland, the Sukshma chakra, which is a lymphatic gland, which is the main thing for the T cells to be secreted, lymphocytes to be secreted to the body. Okay, and what happens? You end up with asphyxia, you have suffocation of the the nose, nasal path getting affected, all these things where you tend to become aggressive because you are not comfortable with yourself in the upper portion of your body. Then you get really angry with people, you feel lonely, you want to be left alone. All this happens from the emotional point of view, right? This is the balance. When you make, you get more of comfort, more of forgiveness, more of compassion and gratitude. Anyway, you can read the slide and extrapolate it further. Now going to the next chakra, from the heart chakra to the Manipura, sorry, the throat chakra. I'm sorry, we are going in the other order. So throat chakra, that is the Vishuddhi. Throat, of course, you are all aware, has all this vocal cord, larynx, tonsils, all those things. So when you have an infection, when you have a disruption in this chakra, you have infection to all these parts, sore throats, laryngitis, ear infections, because all these things are related. ENT is related, the throat, nose and the ear, right? ENT, we go to the ENT. Ulcers, mouth ulcers, then the facial problems, the tongue problems, tongue, which is the jihwa. The jihwa is a portion which is very important. Naakla nerambe illeppa appdin bonama. When we talk, tongue there are no nerves. That's what we say in a literal meaning when we talk. He talks so badly, there is no nerambu in his tongue. Why? Because tongue is very important in the communication, and tongue is a portion which connects your Vishuddhi to your outer world, right? So tongue, the tongue problem, all this happen when your throat chakra is affected. And what happens? You feel totally lost. Your expressions go, your communications, your spoken skills get, you fumble when you go to a meeting or whatever, and your willpower goes. And these are the physical impacts. Where your emotional impacts, you can automatically guess. You will totally be aloof. You will be a totally, disrupted person when your Vishuddhi goes out. And when you correct it, what happens? You become more, very good an orator. You become more confident. Your expressions are free flowing. You influence people in the right way. You attract people, which in those days, in a jovial way, they used to say, "Appa romba vashikaranam pandrampa," just like our Jagan Mohana Krishna, who used to do all the vashikarana of the entire world. Jagan Mohana Krishna, with his just flute vayana, with his just flute playing. Why that was done? What was that? That is the aura output which he could bring out through his Vishuddhi. Anyway, now coming to the next chakra, which is the Ajna chakra, the third eye chakra, located in between the both eyes, the eyebrows, and in the mid of that. And the third eye, when it gets blurred, when it gets imbalanced, what happens? As I had mentioned, it is related to the sinuses. It is related to the sinus system. It is related to the head, because it has a direct connection with the pituitary. And that is why you have all sorts of headaches, migraines, eye strain, convulsions, seizures, because it's related to the brain. Melatonin is a hormone secreted by that. I had mentioned melatonin, and that is the hormone which governs your sleeping pattern. Sleeping pattern, when it gets disrupted, you get all this anorexia and all other problems, which are majorly happening in now many parts of America. So all this, even in children, because of the pressure, the peer pressure, the studies pressure, they tend to get all sorts of these problems. And this is because of the third eye chakra getting disrupted. And emotionally, all the mood swings happen. You become very volatile when your third eye. It is natural. When this gets disrupted physically, you have this emotional basis, because both are connected. And when this gets corrected, and when you harness it to the right way to balance it, what happens? You get a clear focus. You are able to see the truth from illusion separately. You are able to have a discretion. That is why they say you have a discretion power. Everyone has a power of discretion, but we don't tend to use it in the right way when it is required. Why? Because we always keep our third eye maximum of the time closed. We keep it closed. We tend to only hear what we want. We tend to only take the comfortable zone. We take to comfort zones. And this happens with third eye closure. We have to not close. We have to realize illusion from reality. And we should know both. We have to enjoy illusion. There is no doubt. But we have to know the time and limit for that and be having discretion power. So discretion power happens with third eye. And this is what happened for all the high saints who used the third eye. And we would have seen in the earlier slides, some of the saints who used what chakra I had explained earlier. You can go through that and you can again recollect this. Now coming to the main chakra, the Sahasrara, the crown chakra, which is the 1,000-flowered lotus as it is depicted. The Sahasrara in the forehead. And what happens when that is not in the right shape? That is directly to do with your cerebrum, the central brain, the forebrain. And when that is affected, your dyslexic problems in children, the autistic problems in children, all these things take place. I am terming in the modern terms, in the medical terms, being a genetic person myself, geneticist, that's why I'm terming these terms. Autism and dyslexia and even mental retardation, different things of the mental things are all related to this chakra, which happens when this chakra is disrupted. Even it need not be to that level. When we get disrupted to a minor level, we tend to have irritations, we tend to have anger, we tend to be very hot-tempered. People say, oh, this fellow is very aggressive. Some people say, oh, this fellow is very wise and very calm always in any circumstance. Why this happens? The calmness and maturity comes with the balancing of your crown chakra, where you feel bliss inside yourself, where you feel yourself to be very confident and you have an inner gut feeling and your intuitive abilities increase. Intuitive abilities to get premonitions, intuitive abilities to get astral travels, telepathic travels, where you are able to influence people in the right way and also understand your surroundings in the right way. This all is helped by the crown chakra harnessing and balancing of it, the imbalance to be corrected. Now, these are the balances and imbalances of the chakras in a very lengthy way, which I mentioned in a very short way, but from the slides, you can extrapolate it further, which will be given to you, right? And then now coming to the next point, which is very important. The main part of today's basic course, because we are doing a basic course, this is a first level course where it is like the LKG or the kindergarten. In the kindergarten, you are given the A, B, C, D letters, and then you are given certain, apart from the alphabets, you are given certain words to teach, and then certain songs or whatever to make the child more happy and get into that medium first of all, get into that discipline first of all. That is what is the basic level of the course. But I think by the Almighty's grace, we have been able to put in a lot of points into it, which has been so interesting, and that has happened only because of the participation of all of you in a wholehearted way to really learn it and not just to listen to Ramayana. So I'm really happy for that. And that's why even in the basic course, we have included a lot of points, which comes from the second level of the course also. Okay. So anyway, so when we do the practices every day, as I had mentioned, slowly with the points and the mudras or whichever is convenient for you, slowly and slowly, this will start imbibing inside you and you will start getting energized and you will start balancing your chakras, which further in the levels of courses, we will give a month time as a gap for you to imbibe things so that you, for the next level of the course, so that this chakras gets first of all balanced, and then we go to the next level where really you are able to imbibe and you will be able to enjoy and practice it powerfully inside you. In between, we can of course have a free session of ritualistic and spiritualistic practices for just a 3-day program. which is open for everyone, which will be more of a understanding of the ritualistic and spiritualistic practices which we are into in the mundane life. And what is the difference between both of them and all those things, which will be very interesting. Anyone who wants to participate, they can contact Radhika ji later and we can go ahead. But for the next level of this course, I think we'll give a month's time so that everyone gets imbibed and then comes out with more, because in between, when you practice it, you'll get a lot of experiences. In the meanwhile, I wanted to ask you also, of course, it's quite too early, but still, when you did it for yesterday, when you did it for today, what was the experience? Has anybody felt any pain or discomfort, or has anybody felt any relaxation, or has anybody felt something peculiar, or is there a level which has not yet started? Because it's only a beginning, but just I wanted to know. Can anyone or every one of you, in fact? Yes.
Like I said yesterday, early morning I practiced, I felt the same thing. Hot, like I felt from all the way to my top of my head.
That means your energy is percolating faster, and there is a reason. I forgot the name suddenly. It's not coming. Vidya. There is one thing, Vidya ji, which is very important here to mention. There is also a reason why your energies are passing more faster in your chakras, because you are a person, as I have heard, you are a person who practices dance, right? Dance is a field where your physical, all organs activate every day. And that activation of your organs is making it more faster for your chakras to function. This is what has happened actually. But then, as I had mentioned, this is only a good reaction. There is nothing wrong, but not to increase the acid reflux. Just drink a glass of cold water immediately after you practice every day. Right? That means you are on the right jot and you are already, your chakras are percolating to go to the next level. Anyway, that is good. Anyone else?
I can share my
Yes,
experience.
please.
So Shivakumar Garu, yesterday when I did the practice in the morning, I usually don't take naps during the day, but I felt sleepy. After an hour or so, I was so sleepy. I had to go and take a nap for like almost an hour. I dozed off. That was yesterday. But today, I did not feel that. I think because I had so many things going on also maybe in the mind. So yesterday was a better experience than today.
Actually, why that experience happened, I am explaining to you. Actually, what has happened is, in your case, the chakras have all, which were tired and fatigued for you earlier, they have all got a relaxation from the black aura to be corrected, the broken aura. It has got relaxed and repaired back. You have replenished that, and that is why you had a lot of sleep. And just tell me, just for my information, because when you are saying this, I am able to explain it to you in a different way also, in a scientific aura basis, in a very strong way. This portion of you, are you able to see the mudugu?
Yes.
This portion of you, you would have felt as if somebody is pressing, it is so cool, somebody is pressing and you're feeling relaxed. This is where the chakras get repaired, that is how it happens. That's why you had the nap. That means it's a good thing. Your chakras have been regenerated. Now you have to practice.
Yeah.
Really good. I am so happy. And anyone else? We have to all. Yes.
Okay. My name is Kumari. I did not get anything. It's just normal. And
okay, that means the chakras are yet to get activated. The chakras are yet to get activated. That means it will take a few days for you to practice up for the chakras to start the functioning in the right way. Not that it's in the wrong way, but it has to start more harnessing to come to the warm-up level. It will definitely come up. But here I have to mention one more thing. When the chakras are a little broken, not fully, when the chakras are little broken, why little broken? If there is any medical problem which has happened, when there is a medical problem or something which should have happened, then the chakras get a little fatigued and broken. So it takes time to warm up. But then it will definitely fall in place in a few days. That is good, Kumariji, to share so that we get the exact point to know.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Shivakumar sir, I have one more question. See, I practice yoga also. So there are some things. See, we have to sit in Sukhasana and Siddhasana. Like there are Siddhasana Panina, it is more effective. That
Correct.
what I have certain yoga Adhanala Kete.
In fact, that is really, really effective. Yoga therinjitna inno romba effective. Yoga yoga இப்ப எல்லாருக்கும் யோகா பண்ண முடியாதுங்கிறதுனால தான் வந்துட்டு அல்லாம சொல்லி கொடுக்கறது. பட் யோகா தெரிஞ்சுதான் எனர்ஜி ஃப்ளோ எப்படி இப்ப நீங்க டான்ஸ் பண்ணாத it goes fasterங்கிற மாதிரி. That is because of that practice, right? So the percolation is faster. It takes less time. For others, it may take a little more time, but will reach. But yoga is a medium where it takes faster a time, faster this rising the ladder.
சித்தாசனால உட்கார்ந்து பண்ணணுமா சுகாசனால பண்ணணுமான்னு கேக்குறேன்.
Siddhasana will be more effective.
That's what I want to clarify.
Why Siddhasana in the Cholitna? Why Siddhasana is because when you do in Siddhasana, your nerve plexus gets opened up. So it becomes easier to flow. Other, it is just like opening the door and closing the door. When you open the door a little bit, the percolation is faster. That is why it happens.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Can I jump in?
Yes.
Is there a sitting position that is needed to be done in a particular way, or can you sit in any way and do it? Do the mantras?
The mantras, when you do, it will be better. See, it is more in the sense preferable if you sit in a normal position, below in a mat or whatever, and then do it. Or else, if you even sit in a chair or whatever, don't keep moving here and there. Just sit in that chair in the straight position and do it.
Okay. Okay, got
That
it.
will be better.
Yeah, got it.
Why straight position is because the vertebra you have seen is in a straight this thing, right?
Yes.
So when you keep it straight, the flow is faster.
Yeah, sitting position is fine, but sitting on the floor is not.
It will not be necessary. You can keep it in a chair. You can sit in a chair and do. Yesterday and day before, you would have noticed when I was giving you all the mantras and thing, and I was also chanting. I was in a chair only, and I could feel the energy. The chair is more than the only thing is you should not keep on moving like this in the chair.
Yeah, okay.
That is not, because then the vertebra gets changed. That is scientifically it is seen. So that is the only thing which has to be maintained.
Oh, got it.
But they should keep
Shivkumar
the
garu.
spine straight, right? Sorry.
Huh?
They should keep the spine straight, isn't it?
Yes, that is the basic principle. The spine straight. Preeti garu?
Yeah, I mean, even I didn't experience any change. I've done my puja and I continued with the mantras. So I just wanted to tell you that. And I wanted to ask you one thing, Shivkumar garu. I thought we were supposed to discuss some aura regarding aura, right? Today, no, we are not discussing.
Yes, we are. I am just finishing
No,
this. I am coming to the final 10 minutes for that only.
Oh, okay. I just thought yeah, it's open for questions. So I was like, I so badly wanted to.
No, finally
to
we
that
are coming to
aura.
that. Finally, we are coming to that only, and then we conclude today's basic session, and then we give 1 month's time for the next level, so that you really, because basic, as I had mentioned, the kindergarten, we give the main things, and then later it goes to the higher level. But then I am mentioning about more points here, because that's why it gives more insight. That's why I came out with more points from even the second level to the first level, so that you get more points easily. Now coming to aura, shall I continue, everyone?
Yeah.
Or is there any questions? Yes. I think we'll finally wrap up with the questions. I'll now, as Preeti ji asked, we'll come with the aura also a little bit in the course. Though we have mentioned all the colors and thing, now how to identify and all those things we'll go into, right? So aura, as we had mentioned earlier also, it was to do with the energy emanations from your chakras to the outer body, right? That is a basic nutshell theory. And aura, we came out with different colors of aura colors, which are depicted out from the human body. This is what was the principle. And we were mentioning about different saints having different aura and different human beings and every one of us emitting colors. And we were mentioning about, we start with a ring, then we have a band, then we have a halo, then we have an energy level which percolates to maybe kilometers or meters or whatever, depending on our practice. Now, there are 5 sensory organs in us, right? And the biggest sensory organ in our body is the skin and touch, the feel of touch. The biggest sensory part in our body is the skin covering the entire body. And that is what is the feel of the touch. Touch is one of the senses, right? And touch is the biggest sense. And touch is one which gives lot of compassion, lot of comfort and everything. And we experience this with one example of Amritanandamayi ji, who is a hugging mother. The terminology itself makes her a hugging mother, an embracing mother, and people find a lot of comfort, the touch. And now, this is where something is very important. The aura in you. How do you see the aura in you? Suppose you are putting your fingers inside a plug point for a few seconds. You feel, I don't know what you call that, a vibration in your fingers, right? Which is sometimes, it is not a shock, but it is some sort of a vibration, a mild shock, right? This is the way initially you feel your aura in your body. Just like Preeti ji asked, how to find the aura. Now, this is the feel of the aura first we have, then coming to the colors, the feel of the aura. So suppose you, now I'm showing in the screen, I hope everybody is able to see. When you pass your fingers, when you pass your palm of your hand, just don't touch your skin, just above it a little bit. For a few seconds, you can feel the vibrations. Just try to do that. Just try to do that for a few 2 seconds now, everyone. Slowly concentrate and do that. Right? Just when you feel that, just rise it, that same hand, rise it with your feeling through. You just rise this feeler a little above and see whether you are able to experience the same thing. Then you know to how much extent your aura is emitting from your body, to what levels, ½ inch, 1 inch, or whatever it is. This is how you feel the aura.
Muttai.
Same here.
No, you feel kind of, like a static. You feel kind of a static.
Correct.
You feel static.
It is static electricity. It is static electricity.
Because it is electromagnetic energy around your body, right?
Yes, that is the electromagnetic emissions only, which comes as the energy levels. But the electromagnetic energy spectrum increases with your practice and harnessing. It will not come in one day. It will increase and come every day when you practice. But how to feel, I am teaching you so that you get to know exactly the scientific method of it. Right? This is the same thing which is felt in a aura meter. When you go, emission detects you how much you have aura, right? And when you go to a spectrometer, then it detects the various colors like a rainbow. It detects the various colors and the spectrum into which you are put into. Then there is something called as an evometer, which exactly determines how much amount of aura color intensity you have. Okay, now, but basic level for us, how to experience as a layman, when, as I had said, this passing through the static electricity in your body, that is the emission, that is your aura, you can feel it. But when you go a little above, if you are not able to feel it, that means your energy has not started emitting out even in a ring form. That means enella health problems namakku irukkungiradhu it indicates. Or portion of the body also you can feel it different. Some portions will show more vibration, some portions depending on your body condition. Which part, suppose you have a leg pain and you pass your hand through that portion, it may not even show any aura. It may not even, because you are already, that portion is broken, it is fatigued. When it is fatigued. So this is how you identify, that is you feel aura, you feel through your sensory organ the touch, the biggest organ. Now coming to the eyes. Eyes is the color feeler. Eyes is the next sensory organ which feels the organ, the aura through the colors, color depictions. When you enhance and practice your aura, in chakras to enhance and emit out the aura in a better way, that is when you can see the colors live with your own naked eyes. Otherwise, you are only able to see it through your machines like spectrometer or avometer. So when you have to see through the naked eyes, but a simple basic level I am teaching you right now today. Just rub your hands like this. You are able to see in the screen, and then you concentrate with one eye closed, your hand very closely. The radiance which comes out of your hand, you can see when you start practicing. Now you may just see a light shadow when you see a light shadow, or some people may even see a little color if their chakras are already started. The same thing you can do when you stand in a white background wall, when a white background, and take a photograph of yourselves and then check and then see, closing one eye, see your aura, try to see your aura through your body in different parts. You will be able to do it within a few days of practice. You have to practice it. These are the methods, simple methods, initial basic methods, how to practice and see aura, Preeti ji, which is very important, which you asked, which is very important to know. Because it's not only important to harness the chakras, it is also important to know what your aura is, then only you can correct your chakras. It is interrelated. You are exactly right in a scientific way. I think you asked me in a modern way, and that is really appreciated. Anyway, now coming to the last slide, before we wrap up today's session, we had a slide, the last slide after the imbalances and balances. Radhika ji, there was one more slide. Here are a few tips. Here are a few practical tips, apart from the aura reading, which I said right now, aura recognition and feeling, which I mentioned. Apart from that tips, these are the tips practical, which you have to learn. Are you able to see the slide, everyone?
Yes.
This slide is generalized, a slide to give you general practices, how to avoid negativity so that your aura is not affected, and how to cleanse your chakra accordingly so that you get motivated. These are the methods which are mentioned. These slides will be given to you, which you can read through. And apart from that, start practicing this to just even identify your aura. It will take a few days. It is not a hurry. It will take a few days. Maybe it may take, that is why I gave you a month's time to come out to the next level, so that you get an correct idea about your own aura, and then your chakras are also aligned properly before that, and we really enjoy the benefits. Right?
Dr. Sivakumar garu, I'm just
tell me, ma.
I'm a little bit off after doing this. What is this? Static electricity. You know my condition.
That is why it has been off. You have to immediately after this session drink a little bit of water with a pinch of honey in it, a drop of honey in it.
Yeah, it started me with my problem. That is the reason I was completely.
I know, I could guess that. Don't worry at all. It will be over in 1 minute if you drink water with normal water with a drop of honey in it. Little bit of honey, and beat it and drink it immediately.
And I shouldn't do that, whatever that aura thing.
No, for you, because of your condition, what I'll do is I will, whenever whenever you're free in between this 1 month, maybe 3 or 4 times, I can see you in the video and I can do it for you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
That is the next level course. We have that level, the next level, that is the thing, how you can enhance the aura of the other person by doing it for them. That is the next level. That is how you are able to influence people. That is how big saints were influencing people. A whole crowd of thousands were influenced and attracted by them. How they could do it. That is the positive way of doing, not like the Vashyam of olden days where negative way you used to destroy people. Not that way. You do it in the positive way.
Okay,
Right? Because I have to explain it properly. This is the way. So I will do it for you because your medical conditions require that I will do it for you. Okay.
Thank you.
But you practice the mudras and all, there is no problem.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Radhu, can you please put the second slide of
Yeah,
gratitude?
definitely.
I want to just take a screenshot
definitely.
of it.
So I'm just going to.
This one. Thanks.
I don't know if you want me to read it. I can read it to you, or if you just want to give. I'll just give some time for you to go through the.
No, I took screenshot of all from my phone.
Okay.
That is the best way to do it.
So this is the first one.
Okay, I got it.
This is the second, practice gratitude.
Yeah, this one I didn't get. Hold on.
Radhika, you will send this across, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
I hope everyone has really imbibed a lot because I am able to see that and enjoyed the session. And I was quite happy that everyone has wholeheartedly participated with all their inhibitions out and with very clear clarity in it. And hopefully to see all of you in the second session, and in between we can go through the spiritualistic and ritualistic practices, whoever is interested in. And then we unwind all our chakras and have nice days ahead with lot of achievements and blissfulness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
you all.
Kumar Garu.